You think you're just watching the world. But what if every time you looked at something, you changed it? What if your very consciousness was rewriting reality, bit by bit, pixel by pixel? This isn't science fiction. This is the observer effect. And once you understand how it works, you'll never see reality the same way again. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications if you're ready to see the universe and your place in it in a way you never have before. Because what you're about to learn could change how you experience everything. Let's begin at the beginning. In 1801, a scientist named Thomas Young performed what would later become one of the most legendary experiments in all of physics, the double-slit experiment. He shot a beam of light through two slits and onto a screen. And what happened defied everything people thought they knew. Instead of two bands of light forming on the back wall, as you'd expect from particles, light created an interference pattern, waves overlapping, as if light were not made of particles, but of probabilities. But here's the twist. When scientists placed the detector at the slits to observe which slit the light passed through, the interference pattern disappeared. Suddenly, the light acted like a particle. Just by observing it, reality changed. Let that sink in. Observation collapsed the wave of possibilities into a solid outcome. In quantum physics, particles don't have a definite position until measured. They exist in a superposition, a wave of possibilities. But when you observe them, the wave collapses. A choice is made. But who or what is making that choice? Is it the measuring device? Or is it you? Some interpretations suggest that consciousness itself collapses the wave function. But your awareness is the missing ingredient that brings the universe into focus. This idea, once considered fringe, has now captivated Nobel Prize winners, physicists, and spiritual seekers alike. Because if it's true, then consciousness doesn't just observe reality. It helps create it. Now let's move from physics to you. Have you ever noticed that when you start paying attention to something, your thoughts, your posture, your breathing, it begins to change? It's subtle at first, but the more attention you give something, the more it transforms. This isn't just metaphorical. It's literal. In systems theory, feedback loops show us that a system changes when observed. In psychology, the Hawthorne effect shows that people improve performance simply because they know they're being watched. In biology, we find that even cells respond to the mind's expectations in the placebo effect. In epigenetics, in neuroplastic, I to Y. Where you put your attention, you direct energy. The observer effect doesn't just belong in laboratories. It's happening inside you. So here's the million-dollar question. If observing something changes it, what happens when you observe yourself? This is where Eastern mysticism and Western physics collide. In Buddhism, the practice of mindfulness is the act of becoming the observer. In meditation, you step back from thoughts, emotions, and sensations, not to suppress them, but to simply witness them. And what happens? They change. Anger softens. Fear evaporates. The body relaxes. Because when you observe with presence, you shift energy. You collapse chaos into clarity. This is the spiritual observer effect, and it's the path to self-transformation. What if the universe is not a cold machine, but a mirror? Quantum mystics like David Bohm and modern thinkers like Nassim Haramein suggest that the cosmos is holographic, interactive, responsive. The field of potential that surrounds you, what some call the quantum field, is influenced by your state of being. In other words, what you observe out there is a reflection of what you're observing in here, your beliefs, your assumptions, your level of presence. These act as filters through which reality is formed. Reality isn't happening to you. It's responding through you. Let's get practical. If the observer effect is real, not just in physics, But in your life, how can you use it? Here are 3 ways. First, mindful awareness, practice daily presence. Sit in silence. Watch your thoughts without judgment. As the observer, you'll start seeing patterns you can shift. Second, quantum focus. Write down what you want. Then hold a focused vision of it, not with desperation, but with clarity and confidence. Focused attention collapses probabilities into outcomes. Third, emotional alignment. Your feelings are your frequency. The field responds not to what you want, but what you are. Observe your emotional state as feedback and shift it intentionally. The key? Don't just think, observe. Don't just act, be aware. Because in that space of pure observation, you are the architect of possibility. So, what have we learned? The observer effect is not just a quirk of quantum physics. It's a glimpse into a far deeper truth, that your consciousness is not separate from the universe. It is woven into it. Your awareness isn't passive, it's participatory. When you observe reality, you shape it. You mold it. You collapse infinite futures into form. So, here's the question. What kind of world are you observing? And more importantly, who are you becoming? Now that you know you were never just the watcher, but the creator all along. If this expanded your mind, if it opened something deep inside you, subscribe now and tap the bell so you never miss another truth that changes the way you see reality. Because the more consciously you observe this world, the more you'll realize it was watching you all along.